All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of
RootForYa.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my name is Chester. I'm the host, and I have a guest host today, which is our first episode guest.
Yes, guest host and guest.
Yeah,
on
so
the first
that's Rachel, and then okay. Just before I introduce our second episode's guest, I'm just gonna say, right, we're not gonna make the same mistake last time because it's actually it basically kills off all the wipes and stuff like that. We did put in a memory card this time.
Yes, it's
So-
red now. I saw that.
Alrighty, okay.
Recording.
So yep, it's recording.
Yep.
So today we're gonna talk about trendy business, right? So the rise of like trendy business, how did people manage to or like hop onto the trendy business, or like how people manage to get into it before the trend set off and things like that. So we are like super talented. I mean, we're not super talented. Shit.
We are
We-
super. We're
we-
super.
No, we are super happy to have a very talented 老板 here, which is also 25 years old, same as me. Wei Ren.
We're in.
Oh, I need to clap.
Woo!
Eh, where's my clap?
Cue the clap.
Oh, go. Okay. Alright.
Super talented that we're so nervous, right, Chester? Oh my
Exactly. I don't exactly know what am I actually mumbling. Okay, so we have Wei Ren, the founder of like D-Rock and also Gong Tea. So basically, he's running two of the brands at the moment. Okay. All right, Wei Ren, just let me test your entrepreneur intuitions. Guess what? What is the first question that I'm gonna ask you?
How did I start Dira?
No lah. Okay, alright. The first question is obviously like, okay, we're gonna give a heads up to everybody. Maybe you can do a quick introduction about yourself. Like you can tell people a little bit about your background, what you studied before, and what were you doing and stuff like that. Before we actually go into your ventures. Okay?
Okay.
Mm.
So
But okay lah, just chill lah. 不用 kanchong lah. I know I very kanchong now also. But yeah, it's okay, just chill. Okay?
okay, so I'm 25 years old, as Chester has told, and I am actually an engineer graduate, and I have actually worked in construction before this.
Yeah, forget about the camera. You just take it as like we are just casually chatting.
Okay.
Yeah, forget about the camera.
Okay, so
25,
before
so
this,
young.
Yeah, before this, I was actually in the construction industry
Okay.
for 3 years in Johor.
Okay.
So right before the pandemic started.
Yeah.
Okay.
I graduated 3 years ago and started in Johor straight away.
Right.
Okay.
That's a totally different like industry.
Yeah,
Than what
Yep.
he's doing right now.
I mean, so you graduated from your university,
Yeah.
and then you got a job straight away, and then you started working for about 3 years.
For about 3 years.
Then the pandemic hits, and then that's what turns you to what you have today. That's the timeline, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm super excited to actually talk about what he's doing right now already. Like even just now when we're setting up, I can't wait to ask him so many questions.
Yeah,
About-
I'm also super excited.
Can I already reveal his brand name?
No, I say already.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
It's basically okay. Again, if anyone missed out, it's basically D-Rock. It's a tufting studio, and then we have another brand. It's called 本宫 Tea,
Tea.
本宫茶, which
Gong
is
Tea.
they sell. I'll let Weiren tell what they sell. Okay. Obviously, the very first question will be, we always give this question to all our guests. So it's basically a question for you to promote lah. Okay, what do you sell, to be exact, Weiren? Yeah, like in your brand 1 and your brand 2.
Okay.
This is your chance to,
To shine.
to shine again. He's already very shiny. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So the first one is Dirac Tufting Studio in Bangsa, Telawi.
Okay.
So what we do is tufting, the very trendy business now.
Mm.
And the second one is Gong's Tea and Dessert. So the second brand is a beverage place where you can chill and have some fruit and milk teas, and also some kakigoris.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
I see.
So.
So the rug, actually, I'm very curious. Like, how do you come by the name Dirag? Because it's like a really cheeky name.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, do you call it Dirag or Dirag?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
call it the rug
Dirag.
because
You call it
what
the
we are
rug.
making are rugs,
Yeah.
Okay.
and we thought like it might look cool with
Yeah.
the name. The
It's very
and-
cheeky. Yeah.
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 Have you got into trouble like getting your license or anything like that with
Oh.
the officials when you submit your name like that truck?
We thought we would. But
Okay.
luckily,
But apparently not lah.
Yeah,
You haven't
yeah.
get into any issues lah.
yep.
Okay.
That's a very smart kind of name to like get attention, because I did notice like, hey, drug KL, you know, and oh, it's a Dirag. Like, people would remember that.
But we do have problems with our Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah, I
anyone is
realized.
looking for us, you can't find us
Yeah.
unless you type in the full handle,
Correct.
drug_KL.
So in your so your Instagram, okay, I'll let you plug in. So anyone who is looking the YouTube video right now, or if you're listening, so what's the IG plug again for your business?
Drug_KL.
So it goes by DRUG_KL. So doesn't have the apostrophe anymore lah.
Because we can't have apostrophes in handles.
So that's so that's the issues lah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Instagram, maybe you wanna have a look into that lah. Why apostrophe? It's not available, right?
Yeah, and they have a lot of guidelines actually, because previously I try and search a drug, right? I just type DRUG, and then Instagram says like, it seems like something you're searching for is illegal and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's why. At first, everyone couldn't find. Everyone couldn't find.
It's
our,
like everyone
our
is searching
place,
for
yeah.
drugs on Instagram.
Ah, okay, okay.
Alright.
Yeah, so that's the drug.
Okay, so if we run right, I'll consider him as. Would you consider yourself as another startup? Definitely yes, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm asking stupid questions. Okay, so I think what the audience are more interested is that how did you actually got into the trendy business? I know that's like many people can get into business, say like I'm sorry, say like F&B or like even retail clothing, all those things like require a bit of like experience. Then you can actually enter the market because again it's very entry level barrier is actually low. But then how did you even manage to get into like the trendy business from what you're actually doing previously, as you say, like engineering, right? Yeah. So that's the question, I guess, like to get the audience will be interested to know.
So I was in the engineering background before this. That is what everyone. That is a really mainstream course to do in uni.
Okay.
But after doing it, after graduating and after starting the actual work, I find out that this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And if I would do something else in the future, why not do it earlier?
Okay.
And we were really lucky.
Yeah.
When before we started, it was throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
So nowhere was open and everyone was just at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got in contact with the tufting trend. So before we started, what we did is we just saw tufting online. At first, it got really trendy in Korea,
Okay.
and then it went to China. So after it got really trendy in China, we saw this opportunity, and no one has started yet in Malaysia. When we saw that video, that was at the end of last year. So we thought like, why not do? This is an opportunity to start something that is not in Malaysia yet, and I think that it's a weekend activity or it's something special that you can do other than just watching movies and
Right,
just
the regular stuff lah.
normal dates.
Okay.
So it's really an entrepreneurial
Well,
mindset.
that is quite interesting. So you basically okay. So I assume so you basically like you were basically scrolling like Instagram or like any of the websites, and then you just see this tufting things came by. Then you thought of like, hey, actually this is something that's like new, that we might can actually bring it into
Start in
Malaysia.
Yeah.
So that's how that actually get you started, like lah.
Yeah, and talking about spotting trend, right? That is an interesting topic actually because, you know, like as business owners or entrepreneurs, we are constantly looking out at like what's new, or maybe sometimes through traveling we spot what's not in Malaysia yet. But a lot of time, all these thoughts are just left there with no actions. So actually now, I really very interested to actually know, like, from you spot the trend until you get direct like running. Yeah, how long did it take you? Because you guys are quite pioneer, like quite early in Malaysia actually. Yeah, how long did you guys take to actually say, hey, let's just get this going? And yeah,
The whole process actually took 3 months, 3 entire months.
3 months, huh?
3 months only.
Oh, that's quite short, leh.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months to kick. Okay.
So we saw this trend online end of last year, December, and then because I didn't start this myself, I started with my brother. So we were
Right.
both in Johor.
Right.
We grew up in KL, and we went to Johor to work. Okay.
Okay.
So when I saw this trend, me and my brother and I have been looking for something to do for a long time.
Okay.
And during the pandemic, we saw this trend. And
Okay.
I ran down and talked to my brother about it, and he said, "Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Let's do this." And we then quit our job. We started sourcing first. We
Okay.
started sourcing to look for
Stuff,
all my materials
Your
and
machines.
machines. Yep.
Okay.
And then we quit our job and decided to come to KL to do it, because during the pandemic, Johor was really, really slow.
Yeah,
So
it was dead lah, because I think
Yeah.
Johor mainly depend on like the Singapore, and then they are not allowed to travel off by, so okay,
yeah, and we didn't know when the borders would be
open back.
totally open, because if you still have to get quarantined when you come across the borders, no one would come in, because what they do is they come in on a day trip.
Yeah.
They come in the morning and go back at night. So that is the only traffic in Johor.
Yeah.
So without that, it's really hard to start in Johor. So we thought KL would be the best place where people would really adopt your idea really quickly. So we came back to KL to start this and started looking for materials and looking for a place to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what we wanted is to look for a place where a lot of trendy businesses and cafes are at, and
High traffic places.
high traffic places.
Actually, like talking about that, right? I have like a question to bounce back to you, because okay, at the age of like I'm sorry, I keep emphasizing the age, right? Because
Why
okay,
do-
I'm
what-
just
wait,
no.
Why do you say sorry to me when you're talking about age? What do you mean?
Yeah,
Can't we all be 25?
I mean, Rachel, you're just. I mean,
Dude,
Rachel,
the more you explain.
Rachel, you're just 18. I don't
Alright.
expect you to understand, lah. So you know, right? Okay, we read no.
What a safe-
I'm just curious, right? Because okay, a bit of like context for anyone who is like listening to the podcast right now. I actually met Wei Ren back in like 18, 19. I would say like our upbringing, it's pretty close or like pretty similar. So sometimes I wonder like how's your thought process like. So you know, like during MCO, right? Say like you wanted to do startups, right? What makes you think that you wanted something that is like a brick and mortar, as known as like physical store kind of business, like instead, because you know, like in the social media generations, there's like so many people who is doing business, but they do it online to avoid like most of the physical costs.
Capitals.
I mean, like the
yeah,
huge
the
capital and
rent.
stuff like that. Yeah, like people tend to do like what consultant, drop shipping, affiliating marketing. I think
Marketing,
something that's
yeah.
called, and something like that. Like, what makes you think like I'm gonna have a physical stores? And then that was during MCO. You know, it's like what happened if I take up this place and then shit, MCO happens. I couldn't actually utilize my space, but I have to pay the rent because I signed a contract already. I'm just curious, like, how's your thought process like going through that thing, lah?
We actually didn't think that much, because we have been looking for opportunities. A lot of ideas came up,
Okay.
but not really something that is like wow.
Okay.
not something that would capture us to do it immediately.
Okay.
And we were lucky enough to came in contact with tufting,
Yeah.
and I
Okay.
said, I think that this would.
We just gotta do this.
Yeah, we
already.
just
Right.
gotta do this.
Okay.
A lot of time it takes like quick actions, because when you think of there's a lot of things that come in trendy, but then a lot of people, like I mentioned earlier, if there's no quick actions,
No
then
actions making.
maybe then after you see like, hey, it actually works, but then it's not yours. So I think that's
So
really
it takes a
interesting,
lot of like your instinct to actually really go into this business.
Yep, you just
Yeah.
gotta do it.
You just gotta do it. Damn.
I like to
that's-
call that entrepreneurial instinct.
Yeah, that's so sick, man. Like
Sick.
yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
I gotta say we were really lucky.
Mm.
We were really lucky because this was our first startup, and
And
not
you
to
made it
say-
already.
Yeah, not to say I'm successful, but I didn't lose any money. And
No,
I'm
you
making
you are
You're
successful.
pretty
Stop being so
pretty
humble,
proud,
Wei-Ren.
yeah. Right,
Okay.
right.
You are. Sorry,
So-
sorry, Richard.
But we actually met a lot of problems before we started because we signed our contract already. We
Okay.
decided on Telawi because all 3 races will be there. Not to say which
Right.
race we would be focusing on, but we want it to be
All walks of life,
all-
people from everywhere.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
everyone
the Lawi. Shout out to VCR. Alright.
Are you plugging?
Yeah,
plugging
the Lawi. And shout out to Six, Jackson Wang.
Jackson Wang.
He
Okay.
was actually
Telawi.
right in front of
Right
us,
in front
but
of the-
I wasn't there that day. I wasn't in Bangsa.
Yeah. He's busy
Right.
running his second business. Okay.
So
Mm.
we signed our contract. We were
Yeah.
really worried actually before we started. But I told my brother,
Yeah.
if we think too much, if we think
Yeah.
about all the risks that would be there,
Mm.
we wouldn't be able to start.
Correct. You
So-
will miss out the
Yep.
chances lah
That's
that
right.
people
So
will take.
Just do it, sign the contract, and rental in Telawi is crazy. So just sign the contract, and after signing the contract, because a lot of our materials are from overseas,
Yeah.
so after signing a contract, what we met is a pandemic in China.
Okay.
Yeah,
A lockdown
right.
in China.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Part
That
of
was just a few months ago.
yeah. So
Yeah.
part of our things came from China. So after that lockdown, oh shit, we were
Right,
like, oh,
You're
we didn't know.
basically stuck because you don't have
we
your.
were stuck. Yeah, we were really
materials.
stuck.
So.
But
Yeah.
what we did then was just to focus on our renovation and get things as prepared as possible before our material arrives. So we started to buy planks, to look for furnitures, and started to build everything ourselves because this is our first startup and
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of capital.
Okay.
So we went to Telawi. Luckily, our unit was not that bad. So we had tiles on the floor already. And
Okay,
what
okay.
we had to do was just furnishing and the shelves because we wanted a yarn room and a wall.
Okay.
So
Correct.
we started buying planks. First time going to a factory to look for planks, look
Right.
for wood, and building our frames, tables, and shelves all together. And it took us a few weeks as well.
Thanks lah.
So after everything has been done, it's only another a month before we got started, before our materials arrived. So
Right.
when we were actually really worried as well because we haven't tried tufting before. We didn't know what tufting was,
Right.
and just
You have such a big balls, man.
we've just seen videos of it. But at least there are videos of people doing tufting because it's trendy. A lot of people make contents on tufting.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is what.
You think it's gonna? You think it's gonna make it lah?
Yeah, and
because
we
it's
could
really
learn
coming.
from someone else.
Alright.
So when we got the materials, we started learning as quickly as possible ourselves first before we actually hired part timers or
Right,
actually
right.
hired crews to help out because we didn't want fixed costs yet
Okay.
before our business started.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think that's a very, very raw kind of startups, like how people started a business from like zero to something. I think Wei-Ren, it's literally a classic examples of like what's happening if you really wanted to startups. But in the end of the day, I guess like when we all look back, like things are not that worse when you actually break it down. You just gotta like break it and then do it just step by step, and then
Right. Just now you mentioned you do a lot of things like what Chester said. You you first source the location, and then you have like challenges, right, on the materials, and then like then you focus on renovation. When you say we, do you mean that you and your brother only, just two of you guys?
Yeah, just my brother and I.
Just your brother and yourself lah. So your brother is your only partner,
Yep.
right? Is it your younger brother or elder? Sorry.
My elder brother.
Elder
He's
brother.
1 year older than me.
A bit of
Right, right.
context, we got 4 brothers, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like rich brothers, right? Right. So, you know, running business with a sibling, with like a family member, I'm sure like our viewers, our listeners are equally as curious.
Definitely.
You know how it is, family
yeah, yeah.
business, or even like with siblings, there's always this sibling fight whether you have business or not. How do you actually manage it? Do you guys ever have like
We have a lot of fights. We have fights on a lot of
A
things.
lot of things.
Even before procurement, a place to do.
Wait,
a place to
what's
choose.
the brother's name again? Wei Han.
Wei Han.
Wei Han, you suck.
Shout out to Wei Han.
Oh, shout out to Wei Han.
But what?
Okay.
I think any business with partners, you will have fights. But
With brothers?
with brothers is even
It's
more.
even more, right? With
It's
siblings, it's even more,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's even more.
I just need to hear it from him. Like,
Right.
is it true?
How is it like? So okay, so to a lot of people, right? Of course, so say like okay, I am I never do startups before. Okay, say like I'm just a normal people. So if I wanted to start a business, so first off, I thought of like okay, family, because I thought of like okay, family is like I got backups, so anything happens, they will eventually cover me up. And then if I do it with friends, if I actually fucked up with them, then I have like a bigger issues. But on the other hand, there'll be people be like, if I start a business with my family, right? If I actually screw it up, then I think the family will be gone as well. But if it's just friends, then I think things can be very
Like black and white.
black and white, like
Yeah.
very rational. You can draw
Yeah.
lines on many things, but family you can't really do that because like you guys live together most of the time. So how is it like on that? Like what's your saying on that? Like starting up a business with family, what's your take?
We all 4 of us have been really close since young.
Okay.
So we didn't really worry too much about that because we know what our end goal is.
Yes.
So and everyone knows that you have to take risks in business, and not every business is a success. Will be a success.
Correct.
And we know that beforehand. And I thought, if I want to do it with someone else, why not with my brother? Because I can trust him, and if anything happens, he will be there.
Okay, so with why there's a motor going through? Okay.
Fast and Furious.
Okay, so with family, I guess the first thing that you put on top of like top notch is that the trust lah. Because like you guys are family, like you can't really seem to betray each other or anything. I mean, shit
Blood is
happen.
thick lah. I mean, I think family is more like maybe for first business to do together. Yes, I'm sure like siblings fight a lot, family will fight a lot because it's hard to draw a line between like friend. Like cannot say like you do this, I do this. If not, then you take lesser. You know, things like that, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, family blood is definitely thicker. Like at the end of the day, they are your backups, like what you say. So probably you might feel safe also when you start up the first business with a family member.
Yes and no lah. It depends on like what.
It depends,
Like,
right?
how
Yeah.
your family like upbringing is like.
Yeah,
And
it
stuff
depends like
that.
how close you are.
I
you
don't
guys
want
are.
to get bashed by anyone who's like say like my family sucks and things like that. I mean, okay, it depends, but most of the time, of course, like blood is thicker, for sure. Okay, that brings me to my next questions. So to pull back a little bit on like the trendy business, right? So when you got yourself into a trendy business, right? The question is, what exactly you are building? Because to me, like getting into business, say like if you are getting into food and beverage, okay, or also if you are getting into technologies, those are the things that will actually stay for like maybe a decade or things like that. So it will be very sustainable. Like what are you actually looking at when you got into trendy business? Because you know the trend comes and go and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just curious on that. Like, aren't you afraid that if I get into this business already, okay, I did super well and things like that, and then the trend go off, then you'll be back to
What's
zero
next?
again. Yeah. What's your take on that?
It is a short-term business. It's not a long-term. But what we can gain in this short-term might be more than some other businesses.
Yes, that's it.
Not
That's
money-wise,
it.
not money-wise.
Mic drop.
Okay.
That's right. But
Right.
there is really a huge risk in this because I don't know how long the trend will last.
Right.
And the contract has to be 2 or 3 years.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
But we thought that if tufting doesn't last that long, we can always
Pivot.
switch to someone else. Switch to something else. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
look for another trend in the future or switch to a cafe or anything that
So it's
is-
like the
yeah.
the opportunity. It's always there, like you just gotta grab it,
And I like how Weiren is he's really fluid about it, flexible. Like you say, you have a space. If say the trend goes on for how long, you can always pivot into something else. I think what lies most important in an entrepreneur on a creative entrepreneurship is adapting and doing it fast enough.
Most of the people that wanted to do startup or run a business, they have this issue to deal with, which is their anxiety. You know, like business, it's not like your regular job. Like you get paid regularly. Say like, oh, every month is like 25th payday, then I get money get into my bank account. So business is like, if there's like good days, then I make good money, and then there's bad days, then I might lose a lot of money as well. So like, with those kind of like instability or unstability.
Uncertainty.
Yeah,
Uncertainty.
uncertainty is like, how do you deal with like those anxieties and things like that? Especially like looking at your business model, it's a trendy business, you know. It's something that might come and then go and then never come back. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
is, it
just
is, it
saying
is,
lah. I'm
yeah.
not saying that. Touch wood. Okay.
It is,
Right.
it is,
Okay.
But I think before starting a business, you would have to really plan everything out. So what happens when the trend goes down, or what happens when our sales starts to slow down? So you would need to have solutions pre-planned before even starting this, because if we only think about what to do when that happens, we wouldn't have enough time, because the trend comes really quickly and goes really quickly as well.
Okay.
So what we can do on our side, we can't, because we can't control the trend. What we can control is only ourselves. So what we can do is just to plan and have different kind of
backup plans and stuff.
Plan Bs, pre-plan.
I like how optimistic you are, man. Like you are just pure. Like every question's like you just bring it back to like you are a very positive person, I would say. Okay, I'm sure Rachel, you want to ask these questions. Like,
Yeah. So just now you mentioned about planning, right? I think it's very true for a lot of business. If we don't plan, we are basically planning to fail, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
If you fail
So-
to plan, you plan to fail.
Okay, so about planning, about how you are from the different industry, completely different industry, and then you come into tufting and F&B. Like, how do you like
Shift.
feel? How do you feel about doing it? Because would you have thoughts like saying, I'm not sure if this will work because I'm from different industry completely. I study a different course. How could I be doing a different business? This kind of thoughts.
Yeah.
Like what actually? How do you? What's your thought process on that? And what actually makes you feel like, let's just do it.
Like just shifting from one industry to a completely different
Yeah.
industry. Like just
Yeah.
over the time span of like what, 2 years or like less
3
than
years, yeah.
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
years. That's like really short period of time. Yeah. Oh, and also actually, before we started that questions, so basically the context is that Weiren has another brand it's called Penkong. So it's a what is it?
Gong Tea and dessert.
Gong's tea and dessert.
Oh, and actually we have it.
Gong's tea.
So to plug in, we actually have the drinks here. So I have my fruit tea basically, and then Rachel, what you got? It's milk tea.
It's a peach oolong
milk tea.
Oh yeah.
Peach
Okay.
oolong milk tea.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, that's Weiren's second brand lah, basically. Okay. So how did you just completely, I mean, shifted completely random kind of business? Yeah, not random, but tufting to food and beverage. Yeah. I just got lost. Sorry, because the tea is too good. Okay.
So from engineering to tufting, or from tufting to F&B?
Uh,
Both.
anything you'd
Actually,
like
both.
to add on.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
actually
very
both,
interested to know like from tufting to F&B as well. Yeah, because it's like from a creative business to like and then F&B.
Okay, so like just now we were saying from engineering to like business, it's actually first business. So he got into it simply because like it was just I was saying intuition, or like it was a coincidence. Okay, not coincidence. Obviously, there's an opportunity and he grabbed it. But then but then when you got a tufting business, you know like how business works really. You basically go into another industry, which is something I think that's like
Totally different.
yeah,
Totally different
which is
once
worth
again.
exploring. Like, what's your thought process on that thing?
I have actually always wanted to try F&B, but haven't had the opportunity to try this. And this is actually really just, I would say, fate or chance.
There's so much fates happening on you, Weiren. I need that fate too.
And this is actually one of our plan Bs, because tufting is not that lasting. It's a trend.
So here
so
comes
that's
the
how it
plan
lays
B.
out. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm sure you have plan C, D, E, F, G. Okay, anyway,
Can we join?
let's talk about this. Yeah, can we join?
So this is what we actually, when we started tufting, first few months we have to really focus on tufting and make it go
Go to the prime lah.
Yep. And we have always been looking for something else that I have to continue with
Simultaneously.
simultaneously. Yep.
That's a strong mindset. Okay.
But slowly, because we had to focus on our first venture first, so
Correct.
that it doesn't die that quickly.
Correct. So it doesn't.
So,
yeah. Okay.
So I came across this because my friend from China is
The founder.
the founder. She brought in Gong Tea from China. So this is a franchise from China. And what I really buy is because throughout the pandemic, people has been really focusing a lot about health, and everyone is looking for beverages every day. People going out would look for beverages to drink. So if people would be looking for beverages,
Then these
and
are the
there
business.
is a healthier option, everyone would take that.
So-
I assume. That's what I thought. That is
It is
why
correct.
we ventured into this, because this is a healthier version with
Yeah.
fruits and just
Tea.
tea.
Yes, and talking about this Gong Tea, sorry, it's also actually a trend.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. I wanted to say
Right?
that. I wanted to bring that out
Yeah,
as
the
well.
plan
It
B
is.
is also something that people are gonna need right now. Yeah.
Because I don't choose what I want to do.
Yeah.
Things
Okay,
chooses
okay.
me, because it comes, I
Yep.
just grab it. If I don't grab it, someone else will.
Right. So that's like the fate of like getting into trendy business. Like you have to hop on as soon as it's available, or someone else will hop on for you. Lah.
Yes.
Because I think like drinks like that. Okay, I think we all started from pearl milk tea. Okay, of course the C brand. Okay, and then we have out of nowhere, then we have like
The milk.
10-12 bucks kind of
yeah,
pearl
yeah.
milk tea.
Milk tea.
Okay, the
Fresh milk.
The-
fresh milk.
Fresh milk, yeah.
XFT brand. Okay.
You don't have to.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, and also okay, that's like the second. I mean, that's like the second trend. I think.
somewhere in
That-
the middle there is some yogurt drink.
Yeah. After that,
Yeah. Then
Yeah,
then no, I think that's after the
Y
pricey
brand.
milk tea. Then they have like the swan nai.
Swan
Yeah,
Nai,
yeah,
You know the
yeah,
swan
yeah,
nai
yeah,
is like originally from where I
Yeah.
were. It was Sydney.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the swan nai, and then swan nai. I think like it comes and it really goes there.
Yeah.
You know when swan.
Comes and
Okay,
go
okay.
really.
because they met the pandemic.
Right. I want to ask you this question because you know when Swan Nai came in, right? A lot of people also say like Swan Nai is a healthy version of like pearl milk tea. So people will go like, Swan Lai is not a trend. It's a healthy version of the drinks that people will adapt into it, and then it's a lifestyle. It's not a
lifestyle.
it's not a beverage. So and obviously we can tell by now, like whereas like most I'm not saying all, but like most of the Swan Lai has been quiet for some time. Like what's your
But
say on that?
we do agree as well that it is a healthier version and it is a lifestyle as well. That's why we do have yogurts as well. So we are all just about healthy
Health
products.
lah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's really
But then
nice, by the way.
But then fruit tea, it's something that come after the Swan
yogurt,
Lai.
right?
Yeah,
Because I think
yeah.
like fruit tea, it's even more healthy. I think
Yeah.
it's a little bit more relatable to like most of the people. If you're like maybe like mid 50 or something like that,
It's
if
lighter.
you,
Yeah.
something that's like
It is
people would
something
opt
that
for lah.
parents wouldn't stop you from drinking.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if their kids were to ask for whole milk teas, they would say, it's not healthy, it's really sweet and this and that.
I don't even know what pearl is that, you know. Yeah.
But
Right.
fruits and tea, you can't say anything about that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I think. I mean, I would love to know, like with this, like these questions, or I reckon the audience would love to know lah. Okay, so a lot of times when we talk about franchise, okay, we know the concept of franchise. It's basically, say like franchise, or I put it another way, franchise is something that is like so far away from me, but I felt like I know the concept. It's like say like McDonald's. Okay, if I wanted to get McDonald's franchise, I'll just pay 2 million upfront, and then I'll take the brand name, and then I can open up a store in anywhere, and stuff like that. That's
Following their guidelines.
yeah,
and
that's
everything,
that's my concept to me. Like, could you share with us like how it is really like to do a franchise? Like, what's your pathway for that?
We have not reached that stage yet because franchising in every country is different and they have different regulations and licensings that you would have to get. So now what we did was just get this name for this the chance or
To collab
to
or what?
use this brand
Okay.
in Malaysia and Singapore.
Okay.
So before that, after you got the name and you would have to build it, maybe a few outlets, then only you can proceed to start franchising.
So you are a franchisee now lah. You are basically taking the franchise from the franchisor, correct?
Technically speaking, yes, but we are actually using the main franchisor is from China,
Okay.
and they will look for another franchisor that represents them in every country. It's like their dealer.
Oh, okay.
The
The
country-
main one
yeah,
the main one the head
dealer.
lah. Okay,
Yeah, the main
okay.
dealer. So my friend from China is the main dealer in
Malaysia.
and Singapore.
Okay.
So she has been. This actually has been here for 3 years.
Okay.
Gong Tea.
Okay.
So she brought this brand in before the pandemic
Okay.
and wanted to try out the market,
Okay.
and she met the MCO.
Okay.
Throughout MCO, she has been doing really fine.
Okay,
really good.
okay.
So she wanted to expand,
Okay.
and I knew her a few years back.
Okay.
But we were in the construction industry, so we didn't have the chance, and this never came into mind that we would change to F&B.
F&B.
Okay.
But a few months back, we got in touch again, and she said that she was sharing with me, saying that she wanna expand because now is a good chance when a lot of shops, a lot of beverages shops has been closed down because of MCO, and the market is there, but not a lot of choices are there. So she said she wanna expand now, and she was just sharing about her story. She said she wanna open a few outlets first and then do franchise. But then I asked her, will you be able to manage that many? And she's not really familiar with Malaysia because she's from China. And I said that why not? let's
do
do it
it.
together. Let's. So
okay,
this
okay,
this
okay.
is like a partnership with her.
Right.
Okay.
Talking about this, you mentioned about your friend and you. Is this considered you and your friend's partners business? So
Yep.
this one, your brother's not involved, right?
Together.
Together as well.
Together.
So
as
I
well.
think
Yeah,
the
so-
brothers
yeah.
are in one corporation,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
with
My friend is in
So
another.
with tufting, and then after that, this one with Gong Tea. Right. So talking about this running two business at the same time, how do you actually manage your time? Like, because you mentioned Dirac is your core, and then you have Gong Tea simultaneously. Like, how do you actually manage your time? Do you have situations where you feel like you don't know?
Don't have enough time.
Yeah, not
I
enough
have to
time.
go
You need
both
48
places.
hours
Yeah,
a day. You know.
Yeah, we do. We do.
And also
Yeah.
like more that like other than just the time, how's your
Yeah.
mental health going on, man? Like to me,
Dr.
running
Chester is here.
running a business requires so much mental energy.
Mental energy,
Right.
yes.
Like how did you even run two business at one go when you are not like the super experienced 老板? That's why you are like on the top of your game. lah. Yeah, how is it like?
No, because we have two of us, and I was lucky enough to met a lot of crews that were really helpful, and you know now hiring people is really difficult. It's really difficult, but we found a lot of good part-timers and full-timers for Dirac that we can hand over to. That's why we could focus on a second venture. I would say we were really lucky throughout the whole Dirac process that
Okay.
we met a lot of good people that were really interested in this and has passion in tufting as well.
Okay.
So that is how we were able to move to a second business. If not, it will be really, really difficult.
Yeah, I think that's most of the business owners like couldn't actually let go of their business because they couldn't actually find someone that's capable to run
And to
uh,
trust.
Yeah, what they
to,
are.
to delegate to other people, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay. Talk to the audience. Like, what type of like stuff, would you love to hire? Like, describe one of the best stuff you can ever have, as a business owner. Yeah. Go. Because we have like we have 20 years old.
You have so many
people
good stuff.
listeners.
Don't know want to choose which one.
No,
to
no,
say.
no, no. You don't have to choose one. You
Okay.
basically just need to describe like
Generally,
one
yeah.
type of like people that you would love
Traits,
to hire.
I would say she is really.
Oh, it's a she lah.
She's really willing to learn, and she's not stingy with her time. You know, when we started a business, she stayed till 2 or 3 a.m. On the first month because we really has a lot of things that we have to do, and we have to continue with our sessions tomorrow. But she stayed with us, till, you know, she's from Kajang, and our place is in Bangsa, and she didn't know how to drive. So she had to take public transport from Kajang to Bangsa.
Right.
You know how much she
Dedication,
how much
yeah,
dedication
right.
she
I will.
showed
Oh my god. Okay.
every day.
Yeah.
So in the morning she has to take 2 hours of public transport to
Yeah.
Bangsa.
Okay.
And then at night 2 hours back. So even if we leave at 11, she would reach home at 1 or 2 a.m.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. And she wasn't afraid to stay.
Okay.
No matter how late it is.
She's not calculative about
she's
those
not
things.
calculative. Yep.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Okay, I just want to say, whoever you are, if you're listening to the podcast, be ready. You're gonna get like a big ang paos next year during Chinese New Year.
Delivery is coming.
So I guess for like Chinese business owner, we usually give bonus during the Chinese New Year. So regardless what happened, just stay until Chinese New Year. Then you think of like, that one I don't know lah.
But she's really supportive. She's really supportive.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think as business owners, we all like definitely is very blessed to have people who treat your business like their
Like
own
their own.
business.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
the
thing.
very important trait. Yeah,
I think the
yeah.
mindset I would love to like instill if anyone who's interested to know, I felt like a lot of time like business owners actually will actually look after our stuff, and then as a staff you should actually help out to look after our business. So that's how the business can grow together lah. Like technically we are all in the same boat, so if the business is doing well, you definitely get paid well as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, her parents has been calling every day when we just started because
Yeah.
she's only 19.
That's a bit of
Yeah.
problem, right?
Yeah. So, but after 11, there's no public transport. We will
Right.
have to send her back
Send
home.
her back
Yeah,
home.
safely.
Okay.
Safely.
So
Right.
That's the least that we can do.
It's really touched to have
Yeah.
a person who work for you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so she's 19 years old.
Yeah.
So she's a Ling Ling Ho.
yeah.
Right.
she is.
Shout out to Ling Ling Ho.
Ling Ling Ho.
Okay, I actually have a very
Shout out to Ling Ling Ho.
I actually have a very nice Ling Ling Ho stuff as well. It's Natalie. Shout out to Natalie.
Shout out
She-
to Natalie.
She did sick stuff as well. Yeah, she's so good. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously we can actually the stereotype can be
Yeah.
we shouldn't have the stereotypes of like Ling Ling
Yeah.
Ho cannot do shits. It's just
Exactly.
that there's like people who can do shits and then there's people who mummy says cannot. So all right. Okay. Okay. So this is very personal kind of questions. Like most of the time in your group of friends, right? Are you a team player or are you a lone wolf?
I am a team player.
Okay, Wei Ren, we're talking about team player, being a team player, growing up, in maybe in uni, in school, or between friends, you're a team player, right? So, what kind of character or traits that you see in yourself growing up that you feel that is where brought you here? Is it your leadership? Is it the way you manage your time, or how you manage your? We talk about mental energy. Yeah, what kind of strong traits you think that is what brought you here?
Today,
Not to say leadership, I would say, because what I've always felt is how many hours do one person have? So
Okay.
what can we achieve with one brain and two hands? So that's why from since young I would always prefer being in a team and being with a lot of people, doing something that everyone enjoys together. As long as we have the same goal in mind, I would prefer to have a lot of people in it.
So I think being selfless is the key to brought him. Oh my god, that's actually quite inspiring because I would never thought of that. I am definitely like as opposed to you.
That's a nice answer.
Right. Like he's being like super selfless. Like to me, all the time I felt like okay, I wanted to be the one who make decisions. I wanted to do this my way because I felt like that would be the successful way and stuff like that. I never thought of like people would say like, if you have like a team, then you have a lot of brains and then you can work things out together.
Not to say being selfless, but even when you face problems, there'll be a lot of answers, a lot of solutions coming out, and we can discuss and look for the best, rather than just one person thinking through everything and
Nice.
One person can only do so much, right?
yeah, one person can only do so much.
That's a very nice perspective to me. Okay. Right. I have another personal questions. Okay. On what you achieved today, right? Like running two brands at one go at the age of like 25. I still think like you are so young to run two brands. Like genuinely, I have so much respect for you on that. Like, how do you define success? Like for your stage, like it can be anything. It can be anything. Like, I'm just curious how you think. Like, what is success to you?
I think I'm not even close to success because success has been really, really big and really far from what I have achieved now. So I would say still a long way to go, and I still do not know how much I have to achieve to be satisfied or to feel that I'm successful, but not now.
Okay, so like
I really like his humble, his humble answers.
It's so humble. I don't
He's
know
so
how to follow
humble,
up.
Yeah, so humble.
Okay. Okay.
不是讲假，
可以讲话
不是。讲假啦 but I that's what I
真的。
feel.
可是
That's what I feel.
好像在你现在 like your stage 啊，你觉得怎样一个东西才是 the classic examples of success to you. It might not be you, or like there's like people who is success that you felt like 这个人很成功 to you. Yeah. That's my question.
Yeah, to me, if you have time for, if your work and life is really balanced, you have time for your family, and your work is going really well, you will be successful. Not to measure by the amount of money you earn, but if you are comfortable, you're happy, and you have time to spend with your family. Because a lot of business owners are so tied up in their business that they would have no time at all. Even now, we do not have time at all, and our life is like the balik, opposite from what everyone's life is like. Because we start at 12 p.m. and we end at 3-4 a.m. So our whole life is opposite, and I don't really have much time to spend with my family or my mom or my brothers, my siblings. It's all just about work, and even my girlfriend. We have no time for them, because our peak is during public holidays and weekends, and people who are working would be free during that time, so we don't really have time to meet. Yep.
I like the answer that says that like the success is really reaching a balance. It is so true, because that's actually what I feel deeply as well as a business, as a person who runs business as well. Having balanced time is something that not everyone who are working gets it.
Correct. Plus one. I definitely agree on that.
Good answer.
Okay, we have our last 2 questions, and then you can throw 1 question each to us if you got any questions. Okay, right. Okay, Richard. You wanna ask? Oh, not just this is too.
Oh, I think Warren has shared so many 精华 about running business, right? So right now, actually, one or two last question. We want to know, what advice do you have for young people out there, or even people who are thinking of starting a business? What kind of advice would you share to people?
Or like quick tips.
Yeah, quick tips.
I think if you have thought about it and you feel that this would be a great idea, just do it. Because if we think too much about all the risks and all the things that I would have to face, we wouldn't be able to do anything. And businesses is all about solving problems. When problem comes, just solve it and proceed. So if we think too much, we wouldn't be able to do anything.
That's true. So don't think too much and just do it.
And entrepreneurship, it's all about like solving problems, like breaking down problems. Then the problems will look smaller.
Yeah, and it's a lot about trial and error and just learning from. Like, you won't repeat the mistakes, or just solving a lot of problems. That's right.
Okay, I have my one last questions. What do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur or like a business owner? What do you enjoy about the most?
I think being a business owner, what I enjoy most during this process is the people that I've met during this process and the amount of things I learn. Because they always say go to a job to learn something. But I feel that if you start a business and the business is yours, you would be more keen to learn and you would be forced to learn. You cannot stop learning, because when you stop learning, that's it for your business, right? You would have to keep improving yourself and look for something new.
Wow, his answers are so on point. I feel like I'm in like a conference TED talk with Warren right now.
Yeah, man, I can definitely cut it and put it on TikTok, man.
Even I myself, I have a lot of insights from your answers. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so now we have like
Free time.
no, now we have like you can
Break
ask
time.
us. You can
Break time. No.
Free time.
ain't nobody got break time. Okay, so you can actually ask us any questions if you have any. So basically, a bit of context. Rachel and Tia, it's the founders of like this place. They own the studio and stuff like that. So if you have any questions for them, you can ask them, and then
Yeah, I wanted to ask when I came in. Chester, stop
Yeah.
Keep it for the podcast.
His standard answer like, keep it for the podcast.
No. This is a special part of like our podcast is that you get to ask questions of our host as well. Okay. All right, you can ask now. Like one question.
You told me just now you started 2 years ago.
Yes.
But what were you doing before this, and how did you start this? It's really an interesting place and interesting thing to do.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, actually, it was actually MCO also. So we actually started Cloud during the pandemic as well. I would say brick and mortar as well. We have a physical this studio. Okay, but what we are doing is completely new. This creative studio rental, we have never done this before. This idea just came up while we are doing our agency work. So this is not our core business. Our core business is actually a creative advertising. We do advertising for brands. We run campaign, work with influencers and whatnot. So one day we were just working in the office, right? And one day we realized that the office is quite nice, and a lot of people like to find studio to take pictures. So why not we try? Yeah, and it kind of worked.
Yeah,
so we expanded it. Yeah, that's how it all started.
And it looks really good, really hipster.
Thank you. And like what you answered just now, your question really relates to me, because it's true. You just don't think too much and just try. It's a lot of trial and error and solving problem. And what I like most is also about meeting a lot of creatives over here, because so many different people come here. Yeah.
And you're one of the creative as well. Okay. Right.
But
Okay.
did you do all the renovations?
Okay. We only have one question.
We'll keep this for after this.
You only can ask second question if you join the second podcast.
You need to stop me, because Rachel being Rachel, I will non-stop talk about this studio for like 1 hour.
Okay. I guess.
How about Chester? Any question for
Yeah, can throw me one
this
question.
大老板?
I mean, I'm not 大老板. Okay.
Even though you guys already know each other for so long, right? Yeah.
For some time.
But Chester is really an example of success, because his work life is really balanced. I see him enjoying his life every day and still owning a business. That is something that I couldn't achieve.
Yes.
Yeah, because after starting business, I've been always tied up all my every day.
What?
Oh, sorry. You look very kantong.
Yeah. But his life is really balanced. He manages his business really well. That he has time off from his business. That is really good, I think.
Okay, I'll do a bit of like explanations on that. Okay, first thing first off, of course, shout out to the team. Obviously, I have a very a good team, a strong team that backs me up, so that I get to do a lot of my things and things like that. And also another thing is that I think I worked my ass off like way back before I started my business lah. So I think people don't see me working hardest time. It was during the time when I was in Australia. I was working like 7 days a week, literally having no days off, and then it was really long hours and all the stuff like that. So those were the times that I hustle, and then when I started a business, I was striving as heck, as you know, if I just started a cafe and then 5 days later MCO happens and shits like that. So that time being, I was struggling as well. I was working very, very hard. But after things got stable a little, me and my partner, obviously, I discussed with him that I wanted 2 days off. So simply because I felt like I need the mental health. So I need the balancing in order for me to run myself. So that's one thing about it. And also, I do need a lot of like new things to keep me running as a person. Hence, that's what you see on Instagram. But that's also a very real side of myself. But thanks for that, man. Like, that was such a huge compliment, but okay, thank you.
Great acknowledgement, Chester. You're so successful. You guys are so successful at like 25. Okay, let's cut this out.
All right. Okay. Anyone who is still listening to the podcast, once again, thank you so much. This is our second episode of RootForYa. It's a podcast. It's a brand new podcast. And thank you. We'll have the third episode soon. All right. Thank you.